that with genderfluid people feel a connection to multiple different genders. Now that means that some days a gender fluid person could be identifying as a girl, and then maybe the day after they're identifying as a boy, or maybe another day they're identifying as both. Now with someone who is agender, they don't feel a connection to any gender at all. So like, there aren't some days where I'm a girl and some days I'm a boy, or some days I'm both. But with gender fluid people, there are some days where they don't feel like a girl, a boy, both. So they are neither some days. There are different levels of that connection. So like, on some days, someone who's gender fluid could feel like both a girl and a boy, but more so a girl, or more so a boy. With that being said, gender fluid people, even on the days where they don't feel like a girl or a boy, or both, so on the days when they do feel like neither, that doesn't mean that suddenly they're agender just because they don't feel the connection with either a boy, a girl, both, or being non-binary. And also with a gender fluid person, since, as its name implies, gender fluid, it does change. The gender identity does change. And it's also very important to realize that if a gender fluid person is assigned female at birth, and someday they're identifying as a girl, that doesn't make their gender identity as being gender fluid, it doesn't make it invalid. So just because someone who is gender fluid is currently identifying with the gender they were assigned at birth, doesn't mean all of a sudden they're cisgender. Same with if a gender fluid person is identifying as the opposite sex, that doesn't make them suddenly like male to female or female to male transgender. Being gender fluid means that there are different days where a different connection to a gender is felt. Someone who is agender does not have that connection at all. That's what being agender means. It means that you don't feel a connection with a specific gender, therefore you don't have one. But gender fluid people can have multiple different genders depending on how they feel that day or whatever is going on. There will be other days when a gender fluid person doesn't really feel the connection to a gender, which would be one of the days where they don't feel like they have a gender at all. But that doesn't suddenly invalidate the fact that they are gender fluid. Just because someone who is gender fluid feels a certain way someday doesn't mean suddenly they're not gender fluid anymore. That's the whole point of being gender fluid, is feeling different genders, having a connection to different genders, and moving along the gender spectrum. While agender people are lacking in the connection to a gender constantly. There are never days where suddenly I feel a connection to a gender. It's okay to explore gender identity and find out what feels right for you, what feels best for you, but I'm saying, like, people who have come to the conclusion that agender is who they are, like myself, I won't ever have a day where I'll be like, I'm a girl today, or I'm a boy today. Make sure to subscribe if you like this video. I talk a lot about like gender stuff and sexual orientations, romantic orientations, and whatnot. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter or Tumblr or Instagram. I will post all those links down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!